Hello and all, welcome to the Galaxy Manager interview show. So, for my very next guest of this week is this incredible actor known by the name of Michael Breath Jr. and he actually was in this incredible Power Rangers episode of Red and Silver. So I'm about to add Michael into the live now to have a chat with Michael about his incredible work. And yeah, let's add Michael in and have a chat with Michael. Hey,
How
Michael,
you
what's
doing, sir?
up?
I'm
Yeah, really
good,
good,
man.
thanks.
Good. How you been?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Sorry about the tech issues.
No worries.
I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time, Michael, for joining the show. It's such an incredible pleasure having you on the show today. To people that don't know who you are, Michael, if you can give like a bit of backstory first about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Sure. Well, first, let me say, pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that.
You're very
Uh,
welcome.
yeah. So, background about me: I'm 24 years old. I'm an actor in the United States. I live in Louisiana and lived all over the South. Went to college at the University of Oklahoma, where I got my degree in drama. With I've been acting since I was 10 years old, so 14 years now. That's crazy to me. Um, and yeah, man, I am just looking forward to continue. I've done a lot of theater in my life, but I've also done a handful of film. But yeah, I'm just excited to see where that goes from here.
Awesome. So I'm sorry, first question, Michael. So you've actually filmed this incredible episode that's out now on YouTube for everyone to check out, Red and Silver for Power Rangers. What was it like getting to create this episode with Danny? And yeah, what was the whole experience like getting to create it?
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you. That was
You're
really
very
nice.
welcome.
But yeah, so it was a lot of fun. Let me just say that. I was a fan of Danny's and their work. I've watched their stuff growing up. And so when I got the opportunity to meet Danny and, talk with him, and he was a really good guy, we hit it off. And we pitched the idea. I knew he had red, I had silver. So it was like, let's figure something out. And he wrote a great script. I contributed a little bit, but most of it was him. And I couldn't believe it when I flew out to Los Angeles and he took me to the actual set where KO 35 was, and he had it all planned out, and I still just I have very very fond memories of it. It was a great time, and Danny and that whole crew over at We the Geeks of East LA, not only are they very professional and very very sweet and very, just good people, but they are good workers. They're just great people. They took me in immediately. I went over there. They took me out to dinner my first night. They always were checking in on me, and yeah, I can't say enough good things about them.
Awesome. So I'll
Yeah,
start with your next question. So
yeah.
with the whole filming this, like filming for the episode of Red and Silver, like
Mhm.
what was like your whole like favorite memorable moment for filming the episode? And yeah, what was like your whole favorite scene or like memorable moment?
Okay, good question. My favorite moment when filming was there was the scene. Danny and I are fighting each other, and we were fighting each other, and we were in between takes, just getting set up. This wasn't even part of the film, but it just kind of was a great thing for me to see with Danny. Was there was a woman walking by, not too far from us, but she was walking across the street, and she had this huge load of stuff in her arms, books, and she had a wagon she was dragging. It was Danny immediately stopped what he was doing, ran over there and helped her. And I don't know. I knew Danny was a good guy, but I was like, this is just kind of proves to go what good a guy he is. But in terms of the film itself, I have to say, filming the morph sequence, I never really got to do that before. And Danny edited an amazing morphing sequence. And I don't know if you saw the bloopers at the end, but it took us so long to get that timing right because it was like he was going like this, I was like this, I was trying to get the thing out my pocket. It was a lot of just wait, okay, you go, I go, you go, I go. Okay, great, okay. But yeah, that was cool.
Awesome. So on to our very next question. So why should people watch Red and Silver for like people that haven't seen it yet?
Well, I think if you're a Power Rangers fan, especially fan of Power Rangers in Space, you definitely want to watch it for the fact that you get continued story. We are not playing Andros and Zane. We are two original characters that are carrying on the legacy of the In Space Rangers and KO-35. And I think for people who are fans, they will appreciate that. And I lost my train of thought. Yeah, they will appreciate that. And also, we have cameos from original actors from In Space. We have Patrick David, who played Psycho Red, and we had Justin Nemo, who played Zane, the Silver Ranger. So you will get that fan service out of it. And also, you know when watching it that everyone involved, not just the people on camera, but everyone who worked behind the scenes, was very passionate about what they were doing. So we didn't just throw this together. We really wanted to do this, and we had a great time doing it.
So on to our very next question. So what was your like favorite Power Rangers season from back in the day, like that you can remember, and why?
Yeah, so obviously In Space was one of them. I'm also a big fan of Time Force, and I really like RPM. Those are probably my top three. I will be honest though, there's not really many seasons I dislike. I like the majority of them. There are a handful I don't like as much as others, but those three are my top three. Time Force was my first as a kid, and then I had the In Space VHS tapes. I don't know if you remember those. Yeah,
Yeah.
with the Psycho Ranger arc, and it's awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome. So on to our very next question. So who was your like favorite Power Rangers villain of all time, and why?
Villain. Oh, it's got to be Rancic from Time Force. There is no one who struck more fear into my heart than Rancic. I know a lot of people will say Lord Zed struck fear. I'll be honest, I never found Zed super scary. I don't know why. And for me, a good villain is not only one who has good plans and good motivation, but it was also someone who was not afraid to jump in on the action. And we saw Rancic go head to head with the Rangers a handful of times. And in that final fight, he took them all down without breaking a sweat. And I was like, if that man ever came into the real world, that's who I'm scared of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you are you excited to meet I don't know if you're going to PM Power Morphicon. Rancic's going. Are you excited for that?
I'm very excited. I've met the actor Vernon Wells a handful of times, and he is, contrary to his character, he is the sweetest man you will ever meet.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he's just so cool, and yeah, I can't wait to see him again though.
Awesome. So I'll start with your next question. So if your Ranger from Red and Silver could team up with like any 5 Ranger team members, like what 5 Ranger team members from the past seasons would you want to team up with, and why?
That's cool. That's a good one. We're the same Ranger, but can I say Zane? Because I feel like we would need to team up. Yeah, I would definitely want Zane on my team. Jen from Time Force, you gotta have her on the team. That's a silver and a pink. We'll go Scott from RPM for my red. Great Red Ranger. I'll go Xander from Mystic Force for green. It's another red, but I'm going to use him anyway. I'm going to go Carter from Lightspeed Rescue. I believe Carter is one of, if not the greatest Rangers in the whole franchise.
Awesome. So on to the very next question. So what was your favorite like all-time favorite Power Rangers episode from back in the day that you can remember, and like why for like the episode?
Ooh, okay. That's a good one. Favorite episode. I really liked Forever Red. I mean, everyone would obviously say Forever Red, and so I feel like it's a cop-out answer. But I distinctly remember being 5-6 years old, and I had seen only a handful of seasons at that point, being so young. But I just remember that's how I was introduced to a lot of the other seasons. That's how I learned about Zeo and Turbo and all those other seasons that I kind of missed growing up. And I'm like, wait, who are these other Rangers? And seeing them all team up, you can't ask for much more than that. But if I have to pick another one, I'm gonna go with Time Force finale, The End of Time. Like I said, seeing Rancic just pretty much one hit KO every Ranger on the battlefield is just amazing to watch. And I'll watch that one just sometimes for fun. I'm like, man, I really can't believe they showed this to kids because it's gruesome,
Yeah.
It's pretty cool though.
Awesome. So I'll go to the next question. So what made you decide as a person and especially as an actor to get into the whole acting in the first place?
So that was something I have to actually give full credit to my sister for. I have a younger sister, and she did theater when she was growing up, or she was doing theater as a kid, and she kept trying to tell me, Michael, come do theater. Michael, come do theater. And I just kept saying, no, not my thing. No, not doing it. No. I wanted to play basketball so bad as a kid. That was my dream. I wanted to go to the NBA. That was my thing. I'm pretty tall now, but at the time I was very short. I was not a great player. I was very short. And finally my sister said, Michael, they're doing the theater by us was doing Mulan. She's like, that's your favorite Disney movie. You got to come audition. I said, yeah, you're right. Got to come audition. So I auditioned for Mulan. I got cast in the show. And I don't know what it was, man, but from the rehearsals to performing in the show, it was a feeling I had never, ever experienced. And it was better than any feeling I ever had playing on a basketball court.
That's cool.
And so, yeah, man.
I actually love how you said basketball because my brother, his name's Ryan.
Okay.
And he actually went to Oregon to actually compete in a basketball, his basketball tournament kind of thing. And yeah, he unfortunately had to come back due to COVID. But my brother was such a passionate about basketball, and he was like following his dreams and everything. And then once COVID hit, he made his own business called Munted. So like he shirt designs and like hoodies and stuff. So he just created that, and now he's like hitting off his business really well. So
well,
yeah,
congratulations to him, man, because that's awesome. COVID hit us all, so I'm glad to see he made a positive out of it. So
yeah, well, I love how you said basketball because like you and my brother would hit it off so well.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, onto the basketball situation. What would be your favorite basketball team?
I admittedly I don't watch much basketball anymore, but when I was growing up, very passionate, I was a big Bulls fan, Chicago Bulls. Cool. I really liked the Bulls. Yeah,
that's cool.
During the Derrick Rose era, I was a big fan of the Bulls. Yeah,
that's so cool. Awesome.
Yeah, man.
So answer our very next question.
Sure.
So if you could have any dream role in any TV or movie franchise, what would it be and why?
I have always said that I wanted to play a superhero. I don't care which hero. I don't care Marvel, DC. I don't care. I just think that would be cool because that's what inspired me growing up. That's for film. For stage, I don't know if you're familiar with the musical Newsies.
Yeah.
Love Newsies. It's my favorite show. I would love to play Jack Kelly. Even though I don't think I ever will, but it would be one that I'd love to play. But yeah, cool. Yeah, man.
So on to my very next question. So how do you keep up with your fitness? Like, say for a Power Ranger role or any other role, how do you keep up with your fitness and motivation?
That's a really good question. And I wish I had a better answer because I'm not the most physically fit. I'm pretty skinny just naturally. And so I don't have a lot of muscle, but I mean, I do run every now and then. I try to run like once a week, which I know isn't a lot, but I try to do at least that. But also, man, I drink a lot of water. Like this is probably water number 5 for me for the day. And maybe that's why I'm super skinny because this stops me from eating because I'm drinking too much freaking water.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of motivation, for me, it's about mental motivation, and it's just reminding myself that the job I have currently is not the one I want. So it's all about doing what I want to do to build up so I can get out of the job that I don't want and get to the one I do want. And remembering that, that's what motivates me.
Awesome. So on to our next question. So what advice would you give someone wanting to get into the acting industry? And yeah, what advice would you give them?
My biggest advice that I would give anyone is to just start. And I know it's kind of a cliche, but just start. I've had a few people come up to me and say, hey, I want to be an actor. I don't know how to start. I don't know what to do. I recommend two things. One, looking up community theaters in your area. A lot of community theaters are always looking for actors or people to work at the theater for volunteer. I always recommend that. And number two, start taking classes. And classes now are more accessible than ever because of COVID. And I mean, during COVID, I was taking classes via Zoom, and they were still very beneficial. In fact, for Ranger fans out there, I don't know if you guys know James Davies. He is the Black Power Ranger from Dino Charge. He offers acting classes for any level, beginner, intermediate, expert, anything. Check out his Instagram page. He offers classes. So if you're a Rangers fan and you want to start acting, who better to learn from a Power Ranger himself? So I took classes with James. He's a great teacher. I can highly recommend him.
James is a great guy. I actually did an interview with James back in 2020 as like when COVID hit and stuff. And
Nice.
James was amazing to do an interview with, and such like an incredible and down to earth guy. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
He really is. And he's a great motivator. You know, you talked about
Yeah.
motivation earlier. James is a fantastic motivator. I can't recommend him enough.
Yeah, awesome. So on to our very next question. So what are like the positive and negatives into the whole like acting industry, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an actor?
Yeah, that's great. That's a really good point to bring up. It's tough because one of the biggest things as an actor is getting told no. And it's a sad, unfortunate thing, but we get told no a lot more than we get told yes. Fortunately for me, now I am by no means an expert at rejection. I am not perfect at accepting it, but you've been doing it for 14 years. You kind of just start developing a thicker skin. But in terms of advice and how you get through it, it's finding activities, for me at least, activities outside of performing that make me happy. I love watching movies. I love playing games. I'm a big football fan as well. So that's something I'm really passionate about. So if I'm not feeling great about acting, I'll go turn a football game on and I'll watch a football game, or play a video game that I know makes me happy, or watch movies that make me happy. Or, sometimes I'll go do things that I've never done before just to get my mind off of it. It's going to sound ironic because I do acting, but I'm very introverted. I'm not big. I don't like leaving the house if I don't have to. But I found myself, if I was not feeling great, calling a friend and saying, hey, I want to go out. Let's go do something. And they'll be like, okay, let's go. And they'll take me to a restaurant or to a bar, and just finding things to do that'll kind of take your mind off of it. And then I guess the second part to that would be, once you've kind of accepted the rejection, start reflecting on why you were rejected. Like for me, I didn't get a job that I really wanted about 2 years ago. I was very passionate about this role. And when I finally got over it, I emailed the director and I asked them, I said, hey, I'm just curious for my own growth. Can I get feedback? And a lot of directors are willing to give it to you if you're willing to accept it. Now, some people can't handle the feedback, because sometimes the feedback can just be, I didn't like your face. And you got to be willing to just accept that. That was the case in one of mine. They just said, you didn't look right and your face doesn't look right. I can't change that. And so, you just got to accept that. But yeah, it's all about being willing to learn and being willing to grow from whatever feedback is given to you.
So on to our very last question, Michael. So like, what's next for Michael, like for the rest of 2022, like any project announcements that you would like to announce on the show?
So nothing coming up as of yet. I have some stuff in the works, but that I can't quite announce. But I did just close a production of Noises Off here in Louisiana. It's a very funny play. And also I shot a video, another Rangers video in LA about a year or two ago with Irving Lambert and King Vader. And that should be dropping sometime this year. So you'll see me back in silver. I'll be back in that suit. and you'll see a lot of Rangers in that video. It's going to be a good one.
That's cool. So I just want to say, Michael, thank you so much again for taking the time to join my show. Sorry again about the technical issues.
Do not. I was more worried that I was like, I hope he's okay because I haven't heard from him. So.
Yeah, Instagram was having a fit for some reason, and it wouldn't like do the audio wouldn't work and stuff. And I was like trying to.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank you so much again, Michael. It has been such an incredible pleasure. Everyone, definitely go give Michael the amazing and one sensational support. Like, Michael is one incredible and talented actor, and as you can see, Red and Silver was such an incredible episode, and Danny did such an incredible job with that episode, and I highly recommend people go check it out, support this incredible episode. Do you have like any last final thoughts that you'd like to share to people on the show?
Thank you so much for your praise, man. That means a lot because, you know, you do these videos, you never know how it's going to be received. Yeah. And so just thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate all the shout outs you've been giving us. And thank you to everyone who watched the video. And Danny and I are hoping for a part 2. So
that's cool.
We're excited about that.